Hi, Alana. It's your Grumpy. And since your birthday is next week, I'm going to read you a story. It's a bedtime story, but it's still a story. And this is from the Disney Book of Princesses, 5-minute princess stories. And we're going to start with Moana, A Path to the Sea. There's Moana. And there's another picture. Okay, Disney Princess, A Path to the Sea. Moana loved the ocean. She loved swimming, canoeing, and walking along the shore. When Moana was old enough, Grandma Tala taught her how to surf, and Moana spent a lot of time trying to ride the waves. After paddling into the ocean, she would float on her board and wait. Then, when the right wave came along, she would pop up and stand on her surfboard. Let's look at those pictures again. That looks like her waiting. And then she would ride that wave. All right. Next page. Pictures. She's riding a wave again, it looks like. One day, as Moana and Pua waited for a wave, a sea turtle paddled toward them. He swam directly up to Moana and looked right at her. She watched as he floated beside her. "Hello," she said. There was something familiar about the sea turtle, but Moana couldn't figure out where or when she had met him before. It was almost as if she'd known him when she was a little girl. "You're a little girl." "Alana, banana, you're a little girl. You are almost one." Okay, the sea turtle stayed with Moana and Pua, playing with them in the water all day long. When Moana surfed, the turtle seemed to do the same beside her, even letting Pua stand on his back. "You like to surf too," Moana said, smiling at the sea turtle. She thought for a moment. "I will call you Lolo." There's that picture again. And that's them surfing. And Pua is on the turtle's back. More pictures. This is the moon. Is that her grandma? Okay. For many days, whenever Moana and Pua went to the ocean, Lolo found them. They had fun swimming, surfing, and playing in the waves. One day, Moana stayed on the shore until dark to watch the ocean sparkle with moonlight. "I knew I would find you here," said Grandma Tala, joining Moana on the beach. The two walked under the stars, picking up seashells along the way, until Moana noticed Lolo swimming toward the shore. What's he doing? Here's some pictures again. What's Lolo doing, that crazy turtle? Okay, more pictures. Is that the picture of... Yep, there's the turtle. Huh. Okay. They watched as the sea turtle crawled up onto the sand and over toward the coconut trees. There, Lolo started digging a hole. "Does he need help?" Moana asked. Grandma Tala shook her head, and the two continued to watch quietly until Lolo covered the hole and went back into the water. "What was he doing, Grandma?" said Moana. "She, you mean," Grandma Tala said with a laugh. Moana gasped in surprise. "Your turtle friend just laid her eggs in the hole she dug," Grandma Tala said. "Generations of sea turtles lay their eggs right there." She told Moana how the baby turtles made their way to the ocean after hatching. And when the females grew up, they come back to lay their eggs, she added. "How do they remember that spot?" Moana asked. "And how do the babies even know to go to the ocean?" "They just know," Grandma Tala said. Moana understood. "They listen to their hearts," she said. "That's right," Grandma Tala said proudly. Did we look at those pictures? Let's see what's next. Oh, more. More pictures. Okay. Moana checked the nesting grounds every day. She wondered when the baby turtles would hatch and hoped she would get to see them. One day, Moana and Pua were surfing when the sky turned gray. They quickly paddled to shore, and as the rain poured down, they raced back to the village. When they got home, they watched the trees bend and sway as they listened to the music of the raindrops. More pictures. It's her friends. Soon after the storm was over, the sun came out. Moana grabbed her surfboard and hurried back to the ocean. When she got there, she couldn't believe her eyes. The storm had knocked a coconut tree right on top of the nesting grounds. Luckily, the eggs were safely buried deep underground. But what if the baby sea turtles hatch? She wondered. They could be trapped. Moana had to do something fast. She ran back to the village and told her friends what had happened. The eggs will hatch any day, she explained. Her friends agreed to help, and Moana led them to the site. Here's that tree. Here's her friends, and they're going to go save the day. Right, Alana Banana? Okay, look at that. That's a big picture. That goes across all of it. Okay. They all worked together to carefully clear the fallen tree, but then suddenly they heard a loud crack. Another palm tree had been damaged in the storm, and it was about to fall onto the site. Hurry, urged Moana. Let's push it away from the nest. Everyone gathered around the broken tree. They used all their strength to push until it finally snapped and fell. We did it, cheered Moana, breathing a sigh of relief. Woo! Hey, is that Alana behind me? Can you see? That is Alana. Baby Alana. Okay. Next pages. There's some pictures. Okay. The next day, Moana and Grandma Tala were dancing with the ocean waves when Moana saw something move in the nesting grounds. Grandma, look, she said excitedly. Lolo's eggs were hatching. They watched as the baby sea turtles made their way out of the nest. When a seabird swooped in and tried to capture one of the baby turtles, Moana waved her arms and Pua chased the bird away. Moana and her friends protected the newborns, determined to see that each and every one made it safely to the water. That's a nice thing to do. Okay, there's that picture. I think that's the last page of this story. That was Moana and Pua sitting on her surfboard in the water with Lola and all the babies. Later that day, when Moana and Pua went surfing, Lolo and her little sea turtles swam around them, paddling and playing together. Moana smiled. She felt great knowing that she had helped Lolo's sea turtles. And there was no better way to celebrate than by enjoying the ocean together. Yay, that was a good story. I love you, Alana, and happy birthday.